Hello, everyone. We are thrilled that you will be joining us for Funding Illinois' Future Advocacy Day on Wednesday. So I want to share some tips and tricks and some details that you should know before you head to Springfield. So to start off, Funding Illinois' Future is a coalition of school districts, superintendents, parents, educators, community and faith-based groups, all focused on the goal of achieving equitable and adequate funding for all public schools in Illinois. And this year, the coalition is mobilized to ensure that we win a $550 million investment into EBF. And we do this by sharing stories of impact, by influencing decision makers to support fully funding our K-12 schools through EBF, and also by raising awareness about the need to make sure that we fully fund our schools. So here are some details about Advocacy Day. To start off and make sure that you have this date marked off on your calendar, Advocacy Day is on Wednesday, April 26th, and it will start as early as 7:30 in the morning and will end at 7 p.m. So in terms of agenda at a glance, we'll start off with some pickups starting off as early as 7:30. And at 11 a.m., our hope is that folks will arrive to Springfield. We'll begin meetings with legislators by 11:15, and we'll go until 1:10. Between then, lunch shifts will start. At 1:30 till 2:10, the rally will begin. So get ready to make some noise and make sure that folks know why we need to prioritize EBF. And lunch shifts will continue until 3 o'clock. My suggestion is that you do bring some snacks, as it is a long day, and that you bring some drinks to make sure that you stay hydrated throughout the day. Legislator meetings will continue from 3:10 till 3:25, and then we'll begin boarding back home by 3:30 and hopefully arrive back to our homes by 7 p.m. So why advocate? To start off, advocacy is the public support for or the recommendation of a particular cause or a policy. That means that we are actively working to change the conditions of a social issue, political, economic, and in this instance, it is to make sure that we are increasing the well-being of students in the state of Illinois. And as an advocate, your main priority is to share your story as well as elevate the stories of your community. So why is funding our schools important? If you had all the resources to meet the needs of students in your school or district, what would it look like? And why should we prioritize equity and how we fund Illinois schools? Our goal this year is that we are advocating for $550 million into the evidence-based funding formula. So every legislative session, decision makers identify the top budget priorities and they determine how to allocate the resources available. And our main priority is to make sure that legislators include EBF and $550 million next to it as the top priority for education, and that we make sure that we get on a path to fully funding Illinois schools. So some frequently asked questions. Go back. Sorry about that. Looks like we were having some issues. First off is, will I be able to speak with my legislator? We're working hard to arrange meetings with legislators throughout the day, but they're typically busy in hearings and meetings and other appointments. So your flexibility and your patience is key. We do encourage you to contact your state representative and senator to request an in-person meeting on Advocacy Day if you're interested in specifically meeting with your representative. I will say that they would love to hear that their constituent is heading to Springfield. So even just giving them a heads up would be great. The other question folks might ask is, will there be other people at the Capitol? Yes, the state capitol is a very busy place and there will be other groups engaging in advocacy. So it is important that you keep track of your group and your lobby day captain. That day, folks that are considered lobby day captains will be wearing a different colored shirt. So you will be able to distinguish them, but we'll always share contact information so that you have that handy in the event that you lose your group. And what will be provided during the day? So we'll provide you with transportation, with lunch, and with materials that you use to engage in advocacy and any preparation that you need to do. Some additional insight, if you've never advocated before and you're nervous, big key here is do not be nervous. lawmakers made it to the Capitol because you voted them in, so they care about what you have to say. And the other part is that you've probably advocated before, but just didn't realize it. You advocate when you speak up and educate someone on a topic. And really anyone can advocate by simply sharing their personal stories and trying to convince somebody to support whatever it is that you are making the case for. And then in terms of the security at the Capitol, bags are subject to be searched and backpacks are discouraged. Metal detectors may be used at the Capitol, so just a heads up there. And pocket knives, pepper spray, and mace will be confiscated if you do take it to the Capitol. So legislator meetings, you will be meeting with legislators throughout the day. And my big suggestion are the ABCs of meeting with legislators. And that is be accurate, be brief, and be courteous. So when you're preparing for your meeting, be aware of the legislator's position on the issue. Do they support evidence-based funding? Know what you're asking for. And just a reminder again, and hopefully you'll have it written all over on your t-shirt, in your documents, in your folder. You are urging the legislator to vote in support of $550 million for EBF. We suggest that you know the talking points that support that ask. You'll have some time on the bus or during your commute to review the talking points. So I suggest that you look over that. And hopefully this video is helpful as well. And some questions that I want you to consider as you prep are, why does equitable funding for K-12 schools matter? And what is the impact EBF has made on your community? Practice, 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 practice. One of the things that I like to do is read over the talking points and really play out a scenario of what it would be like to meet with the legislator. At your meeting, we suggest that you arrive a few minutes early, and your lobby day captain will help make sure of that. Make sure that you introduce yourself and let them know where you're coming from. Make a connection. Have a conversation with them. Make your pitch and your ask that, again, it's $550 million for EBF. Allow them to ask you questions. And please make sure that the one thing that you do, if anything, is that you share your story. Why are you in Springfield? What led you and inspired you to make that trip down to Springfield or up to Springfield to advocate on behalf of Illinois students? And thank them for meeting with you. As I mentioned before, legislators are really busy. So we're thankful for any time that we get with them. But again, they also want to meet with you. And ultimately, for wrapping up the meeting, your lobby day captain will keep track of time so you can cover your key talking points. We encourage you to leave your issue summary behind. Again, your lobby day captain will have that, so you do not have to worry about it. Just keep that in mind in case your lobby day captain forgets. And then again, thank them for their time and remind them of your ask. After your meeting, our team will make sure that we send a thank you. But in the event that you want to send your own personal thank you, we do encourage that because, again, it goes a long way when it comes to our decision makers. And share your meeting information with us. Let us know what the legislator said. We'll have a form that you can fill out so that you can let us know how the meeting went and report back any next steps that we may need to follow up on. So quick pause here. What happens if you run into a legislator at the Capitol and have only a brief moment to talk? Because believe it or not, that may or may not be when you make the most impact, is when you run into them and they're running between committee meetings. You want to be ready for that. So again, I want to emphasize the ABCs: be accurate, be brief, and be courteous. Some quick tips are, again, make sure that you introduce yourself and share who you are representing. Share your ask. So I have a suggestion here. You can say, I'm in Springfield today to urge you to prioritize $550 million for ABF. We know the model is working to prioritize funding our schools and communities that need it most. Share your story. That is very, very important. Let the legislator know why you are there and why those resources matter to you. And then thank them. And honestly, this can be, again, as quick as less than 2 minutes. Hopefully you have at least 3 minutes to talk to them, or you're going on a walk with them as they go to their next meeting. But I will say this makes an impact, even if you have only 90 seconds to engage with them. Some reminders, once again, make sure that you arrive on time to your pickup location if you're traveling on the bus. We will provide a t-shirt, supplies, and lunch the day of the meeting. and have fun. It's going to go by really, really fast, but it's going to be a long day. So make sure that you enjoy it and that you, again, make your voices heard in support of EBF and in support of students in Illinois. If you have any questions, you could contact Cheryl Flores at cflores@advancedillinois.org. And as you all know, you have all the support available. We're super excited to see you on Wednesday. Please do reach out to us if you have any questions at all.